wanted to talk about project. I suspect that there might still even be further questions about the project. You all might have questions or things that you want to tell me about your site. Let's jump in there. Let's talk about it. And by the way, every time that you ask a question or you make a statement, you gotta know that that is helping somebody else here as well. That maybe this was something that they wanted to say. They were trying to figure out how to articulate what they wanted to say, and you asking the question likely will be helpful for the entire community. So who's going to jump in there, if anybody?
I can start just about the format of the way to present this deliverable that's coming up. In terms of writing up my proposal, is there a template you would like me to follow, or like a certain way that you would like me to structure my deliverable in terms of getting it approved by you and just explaining my thoughts about what I'm gonna bring to you or bring to the table?
Yeah, thank you for your question, Ray. I have no desire to approve you all's deliverables. That has never been a part of the process in the past. What I will say is, if you all, for whatever reason, feel like you would want to run that by me, I'm willing to engage. I just don't want you all to feel like that's a necessary step that you have to take. I want to reiterate that
Cool.
I've done this now. This is my 4th year of having different interns, and I've just really never been a part of that process outside of just offering up my counsel as far as, any type of questions about this deliverable, what it could look like. And my response, all 4 years, this being the 4th year, has been super consistent. Try to do your best to write up and have your deliverable be absolutely in alignment with what you're already doing. And what I already know, again, based off of a few years of doing this work, is that sometimes you all get to a space of maybe feeling like what you're already doing won't be good enough or it's not enough. And what that makes me believe is maybe there isn't that laser clarity that I've been really kind of pushing you all towards since we started this internship. If you know what you're doing, when you're going there. When you show up for a classroom, there's clarity surrounding your expectation and why you exist in that environment to support this small group of kids that are having this challenge, to be an interventionist. That if you have a handful of kids, I know we have one intern, you all, who is bilingual, and he literally is doing translation for students in the school. He's doing translations for parents because there are not other people in the school who have the ability to do that. So having this Adler intern is allowing them to forge deeper relationship with the family that they didn't have the ability. To me, I'm like, yo, you don't have to think of anything beyond that. Write up, mock up what you're doing. So that was a long answer to a more simple question. And I just really want to say again, I don't need you all's projects. You all know I have 52 interns, so that would be a little bit much for me even to get all of you all's projects. But, for whatever reason, if y'all just feel like, man, Damien, I want you to put your eyes on this. If you have very specific questions, I'll do my best to answer it. I also want to remind you all that I'm not the one who approves you all's projects. I'm just a supervisor to support the implementation of it once you all figure out what it is that you're going to do with your site supervisors.
Okay, that was very helpful. Thank you.
No problem. Questions or comments?
Good morning, Damien. I had a quick question about the kind of assignments that you were going to give us in order to kind of bulk up our hours. I didn't receive the email. Was I maybe didn't look in the right email address, or maybe it was.
Oh, I'm just a lame and I didn't get to it. I promise you, Roselle, am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you are saying that correctly.
All right. I promise you, and I promise everybody, the 9 folks who are on that call and the people here, by the time y'all get off of this call shortly thereafter, I'll send it. Matter of fact, I'll start mocking up the email as we're talking here, because I will want to get these videos as a part of that email as well. I just got busy yesterday and I didn't get to it. My apologies.
Oh, no problem. I completely understand. Thank you so much.
No problem. Questions or comments? By the way, again, I know you all show up here as part of your responsibility to get, supervision, oversight, us to have this time together, whatever you call it. But if there are no questions, if there's nothing that you all have, you fulfilled your obligation to show up. Go ahead. You can even mock the hour, or excuse me, write up the hour, because we legitimately both together, we protected an hour to have this meeting. But if it doesn't have to take an hour, it doesn't have to take an hour. I see Abby here, so I am going to talk about Abby for a moment in a very good way. So Abby, I know if I think it was you, Abby, I'm pretty sure, email me about some things going on in your placement that isn't fully in alignment with what we kind of initially thought it was going to be. So if there's anybody here who has that sentiment or that feeling like something might be a little off in my placement, please don't consider it you telling on anybody or doing anything wrong by helping me to become aware of something that seems a little bit askew, or even if it just don't feel right. If you can't even fully articulate why it isn't right, let me know so that we can process and work through that. I suspect that Abby might not be the only one. I know that Abby's in a placement where there are other interns, and maybe they might feel the same thing. So what I would say is, if it's not just Abby and it's that whole group of interns that are having an experience that seems maybe a little contrary to what we thought it would be, I would be very open to scheduling a meeting with that entire group. And what I would also appreciate, Max is here, Max, myself, and also Zach, we had a meeting with the principal from the school that they're serving with. Use me as a buffer. What that will do is that will, especially if you feel like it can kind of be a tougher conversation for you to have, for whatever reason, you're feeling like you don't feel 100% comfortable having the conversation, make me have the conversation. I have no problem going to these schools and, letting them know that we need to get some alignment. We need to get on the same page as far as what your expectations are for our interns. So Abby, please hear me in saying that I am willing to, especially if it's not just you, if it's the whole group, and I'm pretty sure that maybe you've talked to some of the others, we can all have a meeting together, and we can all have a meeting with your supervisor or the principal from that school. What I would also suggest to all of you all, and my hope now is that you built the level of rapport that you feel comfortable doing this, is that similar to, like I said, you can come to me with anything. You all should feel a sense that you can go to your site supervisor with anything. If you're feeling like you're being pushed or placed in some type of situation that isn't fitting for whatever reason, talk to that person on site. That's the person who has the most ability to bring about the change that is going to help all of us to be in a better place. Again, for whatever reason, if there's a level of discomfort for you having that conversation, tap me in, but like, come on, Dane, get in the game. And I will certainly get in the game with you all, and we'll figure this thing out together. So Abby, I did not reply to you personally on this yet. I'm glad that you're here, so I can get this opportunity to talk about it as a group. Particularly for you, Abby, since I'm messing with you a little bit today, if you want to unmute your mic and explore this a little bit more, you can. However, if what I've already given is enough for now, that's fine.
Yeah, everything that you said pretty much summarizes it. I think it's great support that I have. I honestly haven't reached out to the other interns, and I think I probably would want to check in and just see if their experience is the same as mine. Because I spoke with Antoinette, and she was kind of concerned about like what I've been doing so far at the school. She's like, it doesn't really go with like the social justice that we want you to do. So yeah, I think what you've shared right now has been great support. And I think next steps is probably I want to reach out to the interns, other interns as well, and just share with them if this is their experience and what are potentially next steps that we should do.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Rebecca, I don't know if I saw you raising your hand or what. Where are you placed, Rebecca?
I'm at Chicago Hope,
Okay,
and
so you're there
correct
as
me if,
well.
yeah, so also with Abby. And I have been thinking about similar things. I think the only like social justice aspect that we've talked about is the deliverable, but currently, like I've been doing some things like working at the main office and substituting, um, where like I can see how that is at least lightening the load for other like or for the staff there so that they can do what they came to do with the kids, which is creating those relationships. So I do see the tie in that way. It's just like several places removed. Um, but thus far, I have seen mostly my role as like, okay, how do we make things a little bit easier for the staff here? But I haven't had the opportunity to actually talk to a supervisor about it. They're very busy, understandably. And it just, I'm almost going into it with like, how do I not be a burden on you all? So I think that that has almost made me not want to bring up any concerns because I don't know if you felt that way, Abby, but like, I do think a meeting with all of us might be helpful because us interns haven't really brainstormed together about it yet, but I hear that we're having some similar concerns, so that might be helpful to talk about.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that you just said, Rebecca, like you mentioned like you do office stuff. I've never done that. So like
Oh, okay.
every time like I go in, it's always been subbing a class. So I think you were with me when we had our first date together. And so our supervisor, she's very busy, and I'm like, it's understandable. And I thought it was the way that we were going to intern there was like, we're going to go to a different class and help the teacher out and do some activities with that. However, for me, it's mostly been like subbing. Like this day, she's like, you're going to be subbing for this teacher. This is what he or she wants you to do for the class. And she's like, all you got to do is tell them what to do, sit there, take attendance, and you're done. And so for me, it's kind of like, should I do anything else? Can I do anything else? Can I help any students? But yeah, I think if you have similar experiences, I think it would be best to like talk with the other interns and just see what their experience is like, and potentially, like Damien said, have a conversation with Jennifer or have Damien come in with us and speak with Jennifer.
Yeah, so all of that is dope. Abby, Rebecca, whoever else who might be at that placement, just you shouldn't have to, but if we get into next week, Monday, Tuesday, and you're not hearing anything from me on this, or there's been no forward progression on this matter, just ping me like, hey, Damien, we gotta just say Hope Academy, whatever you got to do to just bring it back to mind for me, because I'm very committed to us getting some forward progression on this. Let me also just offer this for the two of you all and everybody else. One thing that is, and this just hit me, like I had this epiphany and I was just like, oh, that's dope. One of the things that we're going to be able to leverage, all of us together, for the sake of collectively having a great sense of clarity concerning our purpose and our reason for being in these locations, is the fact that you all have this project that you have to fulfill for your school. That is a 50-hour project. And we know some of these hours you're fulfilling outside of school for write-ups and things of that nature. But a lot of it also is implementation of your project on the site. So that's another approach that we're certainly going to lean into, that we're certainly going to take, is that we're going to let you all site supervisors know that as part of your academic graduate level requirement for your school is that you have to fulfill this project. Therefore, you, like never before, we, like never before, have to know exactly what I'm doing in this location so I can have the amount of time that I need, to fulfill the requirements of this project. And in addition to that, we just need to make sure that this is our focus moving forward. So I don't know, that just hit me. One of the days I was talking to somebody about this stuff, and I was just like, oh man, we're gonna really lean into this project whereby when we have sites where it just kind of seems a little jello, it seems a little bit all over the place, it seems like it's so disconnected from SJP, that the project is going to allow us to get the alignment that we need. And again, I'm going to support you all to lean in and help the site supervisors understand that needs to be you all's priority for the duration of the school year. Because guess what? We're going to look up and it's going to be end of April, early May. And you all are going to be done pretty soon. So again, like whatever that emphasis is for that project, that should bring us great alignment for our work in these schools. What else?
This is more of a personal question. Perhaps it applies to the other people in this room. However, currently I'm back at home in like my hometown. I'm not in Chicago due to the flight cancellations that were like about a week ago. And I've been kind of trying to figure out through like conversations with my classmates, talking to Miss Taylor Thomas, talking to you, whether or not it's an appropriate time, like, or if I could come back at this point because, or if I should, because of the school closures and it being such a chaos in the airports. I mean, this could be completely out of your scoping. I'm sorry if I'm asking this at an inappropriate time, but I just kind of wanted to see if you had kind of any insight towards this matter of, I don't know, I'm just kind of at a loss here about the school closures and what all that's going on with, between the teachers union and the administration and everything like that.
Well, where are you placed?
I'm placed at Doolittle.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So with you still being home and flight cancellations and things of that nature, I guess, cool thing isn't the way to put it. The reality is that kids have not been in school. They did like one day of school, and then, like you said, it was this impasse between the teachers union and CPS.
Yeah.
Therefore, for most of last week, there would not have been an ability for you all to connect to the students anyway. Now, moving forward, what I heard is that there's a lot of optimism that CPS and CTU would be able to overcome whatever is just kind of that they can agree on at some particular point in time next week. The reason why it's so critical that they figure this out next week is that they're going to run out of their emergency days that allow the teachers to still get paid while they're trying to figure all of these things out. So that's the first thing I want to put out there, that we should get over this hump next week at some particular point in time and have clarity beyond next week, when we're going to be able to get back on site, what that looks like, etc. Now, the next thing I'll say is I've been also in conversation with administrators from the schools just to get ahead of the possibility that if CPS goes remote, I need to make sure that you all are getting our interns access to your remote classrooms so that they can still offer intervention support, whole classroom, small group, and/or individualized. Particularly at Doolittle Elementary School, there is massive precedent for us being able to do this and do it well all last year, for every intern that I had, Doolittle actually was my only site that we partnered with. We really scaled down because it was that year of remote learning. But anyway, all things considered, you should be fine being able to kind of reconnect to the school when you get back. And again, you know better than some of the others here, because you were a part of that optional call Thursday, that there are alternative assignments that you'll be able to fulfill. The reason why I am kind of overstating this right now, not just for Rozelle, but for everybody here, is I just try to always do my best, you all, to eliminate anxiety, to eliminate. I try to even come in here and even eliminate uncertainty, to say that, okay, if this doesn't happen, or if this happens this way, I already know that I can pivot in this way with my internship. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to be concerned, because we have a plan. I hope that you all can get a level of comfort with that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Because y'all got enough to worry about. You all are graduate students. I dropped out of my last graduate program. Man, my wife and I decided to have a baby concurrently. I was trying to take this baby to class, and I'm like, nah, like one graduate experience was enough for me. I was still trying to do all-nighters. I think, most of you all are a little, significantly younger than I am. But that was even in 2011, trying to pull all-nighters. I didn't have it in me anymore. So y'all got enough to worry about. Rozelle is at home, flight issues. I want us to be able to have a level of ease when it comes to this internship. And that's the reason why I'm always trying to affirm and reinforce the fact that I am here with you all. I am a support. Let me know how I can help. And again, if it's taking days, or if something is a little bit more pressing and you feel like I'm not, feel free to ping me. Now, I would ask you all, please, to show respect when you do reach out. Sometimes I feel like, a couple of times, because I got a lot of you all, some of the things have been a tad bit aggressive. And I'm just like, hey, I'm here with you. I'll do it. Let's just make sure, I'm going to give y'all love and respect. And I would really hope to get that back. It hasn't been to a point where I feel like we have to address it. I need to give Antoinette a call. It just came to mind. So I thought I'll say something about it here. Anything else?
Just to quickly tag on to your last statement, do you think that they're going to go on to remote learning or to in-person? I'm sorry if I'm taking away somebody's space.
That's what this space is for. And so no right or wrong here. No need for apologies. We're good. We're here. I was just a part of a call yesterday with Chicago's Department of Public Health, and also the leadership for Chicago Public Schools. And what I just told you all about a level of certainty that we're going to open back up and get beyond this impasse next week. That is based on what I picked up from an emergency webinar from the mouth of CPS's CEO. Another thing that he stated is that they currently our state has not declared a level of emergency whereby they even have the approval to go fully remote. So let me say that again. Right now, I don't know if illegal just kind of seems a little bit extreme, but suffice it to say, they do not have the approval to go fully remote. So all of the powers that be are pushing for is to get these kids back into the schools and to really approach this dynamic of remote learning, potential, classroom closure, whatever it may be, to approach that on a very individualized school and even classroom specific level, versus everything right now is pushing against the entire district going remote.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, maybe that might be helpful for you all. There was a PDF attachment for that meeting that I attended yesterday with Chicago's Department of Public Health and also CPS's CEO. And yeah, this email that I got to send y'all, I'm sure I can just attach that to it as well. Now, what I venture to believe, I just feel it, that there's some other comments or questions that folks might have. Roselle, even if you got something else, do not hesitate. Let me know. Otherwise, y'all, if y'all don't say nothing, I'm about to get out of here.
I do not, so I guess we could.
All right, hold on. Let me do this then. Do it this way. If you have the ability when I call your name to unmute, that would be great. Rebecca, is there anything else that you have to share?
No, I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Cool. Abby, I think we're good.
Yep, we're good.
Max, I already know we're good because we spent some time together. Anything else, Max?
Nope, none for me, Damien. Thank you.
Cool. And I think Ray got out of here. So again, y'all, we didn't spend a whole hour, but I protected an hour. You are protected an hour. Feel free. When you go and mock this up, that you go time to track, you had your hour of supervision here with me now. And then also for those of you all who are going to watch this via playback, just so that you can get on board and in step with what we're doing, that effectively allows you to have your supervision hours as well. All right, anything else, folks, email me and or text me. Otherwise, enjoy your Saturday. Thank you all for showing up. Have a good one.